right? Just prior to hitting record, you said you haven't seen this. And I thought you did, because usually you're ahead of me catching up to the stuff we have to review.
Well, just to be clear, if we're, I had saw it when it first came out.
Had saw it?
Listen, Grammar Police. The fact of the matter is, I just haven't rewatched it in 15 years.
Well, in our review of the original Tron, you said that there were some confusing elements here. That's what I heard also from the word of mouth, because I never saw it.
I do remember feeling confused watching the sequel.
All right. Well, I wasn't. And today was the first time I ever saw it, because I never saw it before. I didn't have any interest because of how the original one was, and where in our review, we felt that was kind of like rushed. The editing, the pace was off. After our review, I had to watch on YouTube there's a guy did a recap, a 4-minute recap of what happened in the original Tron, and that person did a far better job explaining the events or what led up to the events of the movie. And I was like, okay, good. Huh? Well, he did it in 4 minutes. He did it in 4 minutes, where we did it in like 40 or 30 minutes. I'll say this off the bat, I enjoy this movie.
I'm not saying it's not enjoyable. I just, like, based on my memory, there was parts of it that got confusing.
Well, let's get into that on our review. With a Rotten Tomatoes score still to this day is 51% by the critics and 64% by the audience. End of the line. No, end of line. But what is it again? What's the
from the original
call sign?
End of line.
Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel.
I'm Adon.
Where we give a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. Again, I thought you watched it. This movie did a better job laying out
the story.
The story. Yes, it was easier to follow. Except for one. This is where I do have trouble.
Okay.
Because in the original, he had his program, Flynn, was Q, or Clue, excuse me. It was Clue. And Clue got killed in the beginning of the movie, of the original.
So is
then
this
he
supposed
makes
to be like
another
Clue
one.
2.0, right?
Yes, it is Clue 2.0. It has to be, because he went back. Flynn went back into the program, kind of like Neo going back into the Matrix program. Since he had a taste of it, he kept going back and then try to make a program. It also reminded me, in the sense of the Matrix, you have Neo, you also have Agent Smith, or just Smith, for the sequels, because Smith comes back. He's no longer an agent. He's his own being. He's his own identity. He is sentient, if you will, at what he wants to be. Even though he became more of a virus, you can say here that Clue also became a virus in a way that he got people to follow him, and he created this world too perfect, because that was Flynn's original program, is to make a world in that universe, but it went like too far, because he thought, if you can remember, that he wanted a perfect world, and nothing's ever really perfect. That's the beauty of a perfection world, in a way that is unpredictable. You don't know, and things change. It's never just straight and narrow. It's never so concrete. You have to be bendable, and to be able to adjust. And he made, that's what Flynn finally realized, the mistake he made of creating Clue and the directive he gave him. But it was kind of cool too, in a way that, there's like the yin and yang of it, if you can remember, because Clue was one extreme version, while Flynn became the other extreme, the more passive, the more. This also did you say the Big Lebowski? Because that's what it felt like.
It felt like funny? I should say this. I've never watched The Big Lebowski. I've gotten into fights at work because people are like, "You've never seen The Big Lebowski?" I'm like, no.
Dude, that is one of the movies that it's in modern film, it is one of like the pinnacles. There's a lot of other films that are up there, but Big Lebowski is up there. So many great characters besides him, the main one, Lebowski, but the characters, the supporting characters, all that stuff. Oh, just so good. So good, and an all-star cast. But yes, I had that feeling too, in a sense. I don't remember him talking like that in the original. The only thing I do say that I had a problem was the CGI of Jeff Bridges, of Q.
Oh, the
Flynn.
de-aging.
The de-aging, like I can understand Clue because he's made up. Even though everyone else looked real,
Yeah.
he still looked fake. But I can understand that aspect. When they did the de-aging of Flynn, talking to his son, I would have appreciated it if they did it in a way that you don't see the face. You hear the voice, you see the mannerism, you see the hair. Don't show the face, because again, showing that you saw that it took out.
Or maybe just have him age with, Flynn. Like he's so perfect, he keeps the identity.
Yeah, but he's a computer program, so it doesn't have to age.
He doesn't have to. He chooses to. I mean, this was 2010. This was before Marvel really got too deep with the de-aging. I think this was after Rogue One, right?
Yeah, but they didn't do de-aging in Rogue One.
No, but they did do Tarkin.
Yeah, but that's not de-aging.
To me, that was like the start of them starting to de-age characters, because they're like, first we can see if we can duplicate this character's look, and then we can start seeing if we could de-age and kind of balance out the two.
Rogue One came out in 2016.
Then this might have been the first one, to my knowledge.
Well, they also did X-Men Last Stand. They did de-aging there too with Professor X and Magneto.
Well, Magneto, sure, I get that. Patrick Stewart, not much work you need to do there. That guy.
But no, they did it. He looked weird.
It was 2006.
But anyway, that was like this is one of the minor things. I can understand why he went there. I can understand where the kid is. The kid is smart. He's still in the business. He's like Bruce Wayne, though he is not part of the business sense. He has a huge stake in it. So he makes his annual visits to create some chaos.
So he's a nepo baby.
Well, so was Bruce Wayne. His parents were killed, whatever, and the fortune went to him. With Flynn, his fortune went to him, even though wasn't killed. He just disappeared and presumed dead. It was great to see Alan back. He was kind of like Lucius Fox, because he actually takes over the company. He becomes the head. He doesn't take over the company, but he becomes the head of the company at the end, just like Lucius did. But what do you remember? What was your things that you thought didn't make sense? Because you brought that up in the review of Tron. So what do you remember that you think that was not confusing? Because everything made sense to me. I was not lost at all.
I'm trying to remember. I just remember the sensation of feeling confused about some of it. The sensation, not necessarily the memory of it. I'm trying to think about he bought the original arcade that they had in the first film. Seemed necessary. He didn't own the original arcade.
He didn't buy it. It was his.
He owned the arcade in the first. I thought that was someone else's arcade.
No, it was Flynn's arcade. Again, this is from the recap.
Yeah.
This is a recap that I told you about, that he was fired, let go. Oh, did you notice? Oh, you don't really notice. You can't remember. Cillian Murphy is in this. He makes a cameo in the beginning. He's the son of Bellinger.
Did not notice that. No.
Right. He was wearing, well, of course, you didn't see it, so you wouldn't know. But yes, Ed was it Ed Bellinger? He was like the junior.
Okay.
Michael Sheen was awesome.
I remember Michael Sheen. That I am a fan of Michael Sheen as an actor.
Oh yes. Oh, yeah. He was awesome.
I remember he was a very unique character. He had his own nightclub, and Daft Punk was the band.
Right. Well, the music was awesome, and the music was done perfectly. In the sense,
no, that was really Daft Punk.
No, I know.
In the movie.
No, I know. They made a cameo, right? But what I'm saying is, the music was awesome. It wasn't too loud like we've complained about in other movies. It was done the right level of the volume of the music was done well, especially on the action scenes. If they're dancing, what have you, you can raise up a little bit. But during the action scenes, it wasn't overbearing. You can hear the talk, you can hear the clashes, you can hear all those sounds from what's going on in the scene. Michael Sheen, he was Zeus. He was in disguise, he reprogrammed himself to look like something else. Cillian Murphy, he played the son of the villain from the original.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he was still on the board, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the original, what happened was, so you were saying, asking about the arcade. So Flynn was fired, and Dillinger took it, his programs, his games, all like that, and called it his own. So plagiarism or stuff like that, right? And so what he did was the monies he had, or whatever, his severance pay, whatever, he bought the arcade.
Yeah.
and he called the Flynn. So that, and then at night he was trying to infiltrate, and trying to get proof that the games, all that he developed, were actually his.
Yeah.
And then we see that at the end that it was successful, that they ratted out Dillinger. Well, Dillinger was going to be exposed by the MCP in the original. So that's why he was helping him, because the MCP knew what Dillinger did about with the games and stealing it from Flynn.
Gotcha.
I love the way that they, on this iteration, on the upgrade, if you will, how Sam got the costume on. You had the 4 bodies coming out, all in unison.
The sirens, right? That's what they're called?
I guess. I don't know. It was cool. It was cool as shit. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess they're sirens. Maybe.
They're females.
They didn't, right, but they didn't sing.
I guess,
right?
yeah.
But
Okay.
They just moved them probably. They took, they not ripped off his clothes. They lasered off his clothes. And then the bodysuit came up, and they looked at it, and they're like, one of them knew, like, this one's different.
Yes.
They knew that he was not a user, a program. They knew he was a user.
It's like Neo, like something's wrong with the code.
Right. But the way they dressed him, something that was really cool. And it was cool because, like, he knows the ins and outs of Tron because of what his fathers told him. In the beginning of the movie, while they're talking together, there's toys. There's posters of Tron. The arcade is, not the arcade, but there's figures already there.
Yeah.
And and some of the figures are reenacting some of the fight scenes, like the discs, and like that. And so he knew all about that. And so what was entailed.
Gotcha.
Do you remember Tron being in it?
They didn't call him Tron at first.
But Flynn did.
Yes. He was a different, they renamed him, and Clue actually just said he reprogrammed him.
Right.
Until he could get his memory back, and then he fought Clue or something like that, right? At the end.
Well, Flynn said something to him, and then it's like it was kicking in. And that's where, like, the cartoon Uprising takes place. It goes in, like, between what happened and then ends what happened, because in Uprising, spoiler, they find a new Tron to take the mantle. It's so cool. I got to rewatch it. That show is so cool. I think it was only 2 seasons and it should have been a 3rd.
I think it's on Disney Plus still.
Oh, no, it's there. I seen it. I have it on my queue. It's a shame they didn't show his face.
I thought they
It's
did.
A shame
I thought they took off the helmet like one point.
No, he always had the helmet on.
Because they had Alan Bradley there.
Right. And as also in, the flashback scene while they're in the system.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, they're just showing him with the helmet. He has the 2 discs, like, because we see him with 2 discs in the first movie, and he has 2 discs here. I love the discs in this one. It reminded me of those Frisbees, even though the first one was also a Frisbee. But you remember those Frisbee with the center cut out?
Well, I referenced that from Xena Warrior Princess.
Well, you did that, right. But there's a Frisbee out there that you throw it, but the center is cut out.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
And the one in the original one is just so lazy that they just, it's a Frisbee with tape around it. But I loved the costume design here was awesome. Again, everything's an upgrade from what it was.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I remember the biggest thing that stuck to me memory-wise was the vehicles were more tangible. Granted, they were definitely 100% CGI vehicles, but they were, like, very tangible. Like, they looked like they had more metallic features. Was it all light constructs?
Right. But Cora, she had that vehicle when she picked him up, Sam, and they went off terrain. That's not CGI. But what I like, though, those sticks, that you break them apart, and I guess you can program them to either be a bike or be a plane.
I remember when this movie came out, I guess it was a promotion. There was some companies that got the license, and they did real life functioning light cycles.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, there's a ride now too.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, these were like, they could take them out on the road, and I saw them getting built. I watched a video of it. The child in me was like, this is the best thing of the movie. It's not even in the movie.
It's very similar to Batman, the Bat Cycle, and the Dark Knight in the sense of the laying position.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Of course.
And they had a mock version at AMC theaters in promotion for the new movie Tron Ares. That shit was so uncomfortable just to sit on it, to take a picture. It was very uncomfortable. I was like, holy crap, my gut is getting stabbed in by the body, and my nuts are getting crunched. I was like, oh my, I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be like the most comfortable vehicle at all.
Well, no, you're laying flat, and then you have to look up. That's
Yeah.
unless you have
You're
your arms
essentially taking a
extended,
Superman pose.
pretty much. But still a cool vehicle. It's still a cool looking one, and the D-Res was so much better than how it was in the first one. Of course, the CGI is far more advanced than it was in 1982. So
True.
I mean, how they break up into small cubes, just so cool. Oh, did you see? No, you don't see. You don't. Because they had bit two of them, Flynn's home. When the son comes and finally meets him, there's two bits that look like, like the core.
I remember him talking to a Bit, but I don't remember it looking like what was Bit looking like.
No, he didn't talk to no bit. It was just solid pieces at a mantle.
I thought he did.
It was a silver one and then a gold one. I don't remember a bit being. I don't remember that.
Oh, maybe he was just talking to himself.
Most likely.
I just pulled up a photo. I see what you're talking about. They look like little Rubik's cubes.
Right. Like unfinished.
So speaking of outfits and costumes,
yes.
What's with the hairstyle
of Olivia Wilde?
Yeah, it looks like she went to a barber and they slipped up.
True.
I know that's not her choice. I know that's the costume designer.
It's a wig.
It was a wig.
She's still hot though. She still looked amazing.
Oh no, she's a lovely woman. She's absolutely a lovely woman.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right.
She outdid the wig. I'm just saying.
Right. No, because everyone else had a pretty much normal haircut for the most part. Michael Sheen, Zeus. His hair was like really weird.
There was like one guy with Clue that wore like plastic piece over his hair.
Yes, this movie was far better than I anticipated. Far more entertaining. Again, the pace was good. It made sense what was happening. Sam didn't plan to go.
But neither did Jeff Bridges in the first one.
Right, but since he knew how to, kept going back. He kept.
Yeah.
He was trying to make a utopia.
Yeah,
that's what he was trying to do. And just like MCP in the first one, like first control that world and then expand into the real world. That's what Clue wanted to do.
Pretty much, yeah, that made sense. If memory serves correct, he couldn't do it without Flynn's code.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, because Flynn's disc had the information how to get out.
Yeah, but they couldn't use Sam.
Well, they used Sam because Sam was the one that opened the portal.
No, what I mean is like they couldn't use Sam's code to get out. Like I felt like Sam was. No. I thought they lured Sam in like bait too.
They did to open the portal.
Yeah.
They needed the portal to open, but to return, they needed the disc because that's what they did. They got the disc back. It was Flynn, the father's, his disc was help him to return. Because what happened was they switched disc. Once they got the disc back, Flynn told Cora, I need you to do me one more favor. And what it was, they switched the discs.
But didn't he take Cora out with him?
Yeah, he did.
Now I'm getting to what's confusing me. If Sam is a user, right? Why is it that it's a one-way trip for him without his father's disc?
It would have been, right. He didn't know that.
I feel like Flynn would know it.
Right, and he did. And that's why they were going together. But the thing is, there was an 8-hour window. Like gotcha. After 8 hours, that beam, whatever, the opening, that portal would have been shut. And then Sam would have been stuck there for good.
Okay. And that makes sense. There's like a timer he puts on it. Yada,
right.
Yada, yada.
So there's pressure. Right. But he was also there like, he wasn't trying to find his, like, again, he wasn't trying to go in there. What happened was he was trying different
he was trying to find his father.
Codes. No.
Right? No.
He went to, no. Him and Alan were talking and he was like, why don't you go check out your father's, the arcade. It's still there. You still own it. Why don't you, something like that. And then he tries to play the game. He puts everything back on, which I do find weird. It's been out of business for several years, but there's still electricity to that building.
Someone
it shouldn't.
The electricity bill.
Yeah, someone is. But anyway, he sees Tron. Says, "Let me play this." He's like, he's feeling nostalgia because he grew up on it. Mm-hmm. He puts a quarter in. The quarter goes in and falls out. And as he picks up the quarter, he sees that on the ground there's scratches on the floor.
Sliding. Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes in there and he's like, "What the hell?" And then he goes in and he sees what everything's going on, and he sees he wipes a table or a screen pops up on a table like your gaming table. He wipes it and then he starts putting access codes, trying to jailbreak it, whatever. And he puts in laser or something like that, and it activates the laser that's right behind him.
Yeah.
And that's how he falls in. He falls in by, again, accidental. And then he figures her out. It's like, oh shit, then my father's here. Like,
Okay, so I'm following you with all that. I'm just confused about like
how does she become human?
That, and like, do they use both his disc and Flynn's disc to make her human?
I don't know.
Because like,
see, that I don't know.
Because that's what I was wondering, because you said they switched. So that meant that Sam's disc was left behind, but
No.
Sam's disc, no, it wasn't.
No, Korra's.
Oh, Korra's disc was left behind.
Right. So when Clue goes after Flynn, thinking that he has the disc, and like Sam and Korra are right there at the portal, and he has the arms up, and he's trying to almost going there. I mean, it was kind of damn cool because Flynn became Neo in that moment again, accessing the powers, and then he's like pulling him back. I was like, that's pretty damn cool.
But that goes back to my original point. If you're Clue, right?
Yes.
And he clocks who Sam is early on into the film.
Not necessarily.
Like halfway, right?
No, pretty much. Like I think Sam said it out loud. I'm Sam Flynn, and he says I'm Sam Flynn, and everyone goes quiet.
Yeah, but that's early on.
Well, that's after the disc fight.
Yeah,
and then him and Tron were fighting, and then Tron he saw the blood, and then Tron didn't kill him. He saw blood come from him. He's like,
he's a user. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, okay, so because from the way you were telling me, and I'm going by memory, that they were trying to use him as bait to get Flynn for the entirety of the film, when it didn't make sense. Like, why don't they just get him? They literally had him in their hands until he escaped with
Korra. I think it's because they didn't know where he was.
I keep wanting to call her Cortana.
No, I get it. No, I don't think they knew where he was hiding, because he was hiding
He hit it several times, yeah.
That it was like off grid.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the programs couldn't follow her, because that's part of the program. They can't go that way. So only a certain amount of people could go, and they find him. But so again, when Clue and Flynn fight again, and he rips off the disc and he activates it, he sees her head, and he's like, oh snap. And then he realizes they have it the whole time. So, and then he tries to go in. But who else wanted to create a utopia, a perfection? I know Thanos kind of did his thing in that sense, but half,
You just talk about it in comparison?
Yes. I think there's another.
I mean, take your pick of Marvel characters, mostly villains.
Because there was also like Frankenstein's monster. Flynn was Frankenstein.
I mean,
Clue was the monster.
I mean, there's Skynet, Ultron. I mean, technically, Terminator is now owned by
Ultron.
Disney. Yeah.
Are there bad moments here? I always say that one that says, how does she become human?
Well, now that we're saying maybe she used Sam's disc as the codex to get human?
Maybe. I don't know. They didn't explain how she became human or able to exist in that world.
Mm-hmm.
Is she flesh and blood, or is she...
Does she bleed cubes?
Exactly. So I don't know. That's a good...
Will they have little bits as children?
I do wish they had more games, because it was very subtle.
Didn't they come out with a game afterwards?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I'm talking about the games in the movie.
Because
they didn't do the High Ali. They had was the disc again. It was an upgrade.
They focused on the motorcycle. I remember that.
The motorcycle, yes. The only games they had was the motorcycle, or the cycles, and the disc. And the disc was cool. I don't know if you remember, but it was like 3-4 fights going at the same time, and it became like a tournament. So whoever won will continue on to the next one. So it was like a tournament style. So it was done very cool.
It was essentially a kumite, and play that little
kumite. Right.
Every time I say kumite, I think of Boondocks.
Why?
Because there's a moment where Grandpa's dating a girl he met online. He's like, so you know martial arts? She goes, I do. It's like, I fought in a kumite. He goes, a kumite? And every time they say kumite, you hear like Bruce Lee, like,
Oh, that was a great show, man. That was such a great show.
Iconic.
To go back to Rotten Tomatoes, by the critics is 51% and 64% by the audience. Who do you favor?
Going by memory and what you're selling to me, I am going to go in the higher category. I would say I'm going to be lenient and say 70 in the sense that like I can't give it too high a score because clearly I have not felt the urge to watch it in 15 years until you explain these details to me. And now I'm feeling more intrigued to like to dust it off and say I should watch. I mean, I was supposed to watch it, but just watch it on my own. I'm willing to do that.
I'm with the audience on this. Is better than what the critics gave it.
Yeah, because the original I gave like a 60.
Well, yeah, it was in comparison. Yes, in my opinion, you don't have to watch the first one to watch this one because they kind of do like a little like recap.
Do you think it makes enough sense to
Father and
on
son
the
are talking?
recap?
Well, it helps. Like if go to YouTube and watch the 4-minute recap of the original to get this. But again, there's a father and son moment in the beginning of the movie where he's telling his son a little bit what happened, and then we see the room and it's all this Tron memorabilia, toys, posters, as I said, pillowcases. Like it was.
That's what I mean.
Thing.
Like from outside, because I have like I know I have a friend who doesn't watch any of the movies we've watched, and so like they'll ask me like if I'm watching a sequel, is it required viewing to watch the prequel sometimes?
No.
So okay, in your honest opinion, you don't think it's required to watch the original without a recap video?
No. Like if you want to watch the original after this, sure, you're gonna be I feel you're gonna be disappointed, but yes, I mean, this was again the pacing was great. I was able to follow music by Daft Punk was so good on this, so good.
I do have some of their songs from this movie, like on my Spotify, and I remember the music is stellar.
Yeah, it is good. Olivia Wilde, gorgeous. Sam, good-looking dude. He looks like could be the son of Jeff Bridges. Very done well. I just wish like Disney, since it's on their streaming platform, just do an upgrade on the CGI face, the de-aging. Just fix that. Don't keep it how it is.
Maybe they done it with some other films. Yeah, I could see it with them. Just touch it up.
I bet you somewhere online on YouTube, there's probably a person who did it that makes it a little more believable and realistic. Most likely. Definitely worth the watch, in my opinion. Definitely worth the watch. All right, guys, that is our throwback review of Tron Legacy. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Who was your favorite character? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adon.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
End of line.